Hello and welcome to the Unnamed Automotive Podcast. My name is Sami Hajjasad. Oops, I messed it up, Ben.
How did you mess it up? You messed up your own name?
I messed up my own name.
Daddy Hajjasad.
I Sean Connery'd my name.
What does that mean?
I went Hajjashad. Here we go again. Hello and welcome to the Unnamed Automotive Podcast. My name is Sami Hajjasad, and with me, as always, is my good friend and fellow automotive journalist, Benjamin Hunting. Say hi to the people, Ben.
Sami, we've had so much snow lately that at night we've been having full moons because I live in a full moon part of the world, and it has been brighter at night than it is around twilight. So like you go outside at midnight and it's 3:30, 4 p.m. because of these early sunsets we're getting. It's crazy. It's like a second sun.
You should do some of your review photography during that time.
Oh yeah, I'm a real moonlight photographer.
Exactly.
I hear that
it'll look so cool.
Most car companies are excited to see what their vehicles look like in the moonlight. I never tried that. I don't know. I do most of my photography with my phone these days. I have like a polarizer on the phone.
Yes.
And it works really well. But I'm not sure how it would handle moonlight.
There's one way to find out.
I guess so.
Which publication are you willing to deliver some subpar photos for?
Unnamed Automotive Podcast.
Yeah. Besides Unnamed Automotive Podcast, what other publications do you write for, Ben?
You can find my writing at Motor Trend, at Haggerty, and at driving.ca.
Ask me.
Sami?
Yes?
Where can you find my writing?
You can find Ben's writing at Haggerty and Motor Trend, and I think driving.ca.
And if you're into the paper thing, which a lot of you are, and I am, driving.ca is also in the National Post and a bunch of regional newspapers that I'm constantly surprised my work is showing up in because they never tell us. It just ends up there, and then you end up finding it by accident.
You can also find me on their YouTube channel. I've got I think 2 or 3 videos out this month. If you want to see me being awkward on camera, it's super easy to do. You head on over to the YouTube channel. It's driving.ca.
Now, do you have an outfit that you wear every time, or do you switch it up?
No, I change it. I switch it up. At my old publication, we used to have branded T-shirts or branded polos.
Now you have a branded beret, right?
Yeah, and I think a hat or something.
Okay.
And now we don't have those in my current capacity.
I have a very nice Auto Trader jacket that was given to me for similar purposes, but then they stopped doing video with freelancers, so it doesn't get seen anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe you should start sending them videos just of the jacket, just
the jacket.
Yeah,
like in La Fabuleuse Destinée de Amélie Poulain, or I guess in English it was called Amélie. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
Where someone steals like a garden gnome and then takes the garden gnome around the world and takes all sorts of photos. It's the same thing, but with the Auto Trader jacket.
You should just do every review you send them or story you send them. Just throw that jacket in the trunk.
I have a nice Auto Trader toque too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you wear that? Are you repping your publications?
I have a Yeti toque. I have a Yeti toque that I wear all the time. That's pretty much what I wear in the winter.
Now, to be clear, this is not Yeti like the cup apparel.
I'm not sponsored by
right?
No, not sponsored by Yeti. It's an actual Yeti. It's like
an actual animal,
an abominable snowman, if you will. And I just want to say, excuse me. I just want to say I'm not looking to do video.
Why?
So I live in the woods for a reason, Sami. I'm good.
So that all of your activities can be undocumented?
Yeah, undocumented, safe from drone strikes, all of that stuff.
Are you planting more trees for that or what?
I'm weaving a protective canopy.
Do you think today's podcast, the energy will be better and less awkward than last week's episode?
I think that we're going to talk about 2 vehicles that are related that we don't often talk about because there just aren't very many of these vehicles left in the world. Like it's a sad. They once roamed the like unfettered and free, and they were in every driveway. And as we've talked about over the past 2 decades, they've completely vanished, except for a very small handful of manufacturers that are still willing to make them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to tease what we're talking about when we're going to talk about it next, right? There's nothing else to...
It's not a tease, it's an introduction.
Amble on towards. But we're talking about minivans, of course. And I think you can count the number of minivan offerings on one hand. Let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of 2 hands if you listen to what I have to say. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm confused by that, but...
I drove the 2026 Chrysler Pacifica. Now,
Okay.
the reason I say it's if you got to listen to me because Chrysler also offers another van called the Grand Caravan, Chrysler Grand Caravan. It
Okay.
is technically, as far as I can tell, with my eyeballs and my reading comprehension, it looks and seems pretty much like a Pacifica, just with less equipment or lower tier trim.
Now, didn't they also used to offer a Voyager recently?
I don't think that's the case anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying. There was a Voyager, and I think that the Voyager was replaced by the Grand Caravan.
Gosh.
And if you go back in time, the Voyager name was actually from Plymouth.
Yeah, and the Caravan version was a Dodge.
Yeah, the Grand Caravan was Dodge.
I believe we had a Plymouth Voyager growing up.
Now, the reason this is happening is because no one's in charge of branding at Stellantis anymore. And so no one knows what a Dodge is, really. And as a result, we've seen there's the Durango, right? And there's the Charger. And I think that's it now that the Grand Caravan is also a Chrysler. So it just feels like these names are being moved back interchangeably between brands.
You're 100% right. Nobody knows what's going on. The funniest thing I've ever seen is like, you know, websites that have like make model pages. And they're just going, I think some of them have given up on going back and forth on the Voyager Grand Caravan like name thing. It's so funny.
It's whatever it's going to be this month, you know, like, I'm looking at the Dodge website right now. I forgot that they also had the Hornet.
What do you mean you forgot?
I didn't. Well, I thought it was just Charger and Durango, but it's actually Charger, Durango, and a Hornet. So there are 3 Dodges is what I'm saying. And there's 3 Dodges and there's 2 Chryslers, right? Is there a 300 still?
No.
No?
No.
It's gone?
It's gone. I think now that they no longer make things in that plant, it's gone.
Wow. That's a RIP, I guess.
I mean, we got to talk about if we're going to talk about Stellantis and all of their brands and their plant and whatever. That Brampton plant situation is not going well for them right now.
I don't really want to talk about that.
I'm okay, then why don't we talk about the Windsor plant where this Pacifica is from? And we're done talking about the plant. Let's talk about the Pacifica.
I need to just kind of course correct. You said that there's a Grand Caravan
I believe,
from Chrysler?
Yeah.
And are you looking at the Canadian website?
I was looking at the Canadian website.
If you go to the American website, Sammy, it's the
Voyager.
Yes. How confusing is that?
Beautiful.
It exactly encapsulates what we were just saying. There is no plan. It's just there's vans and there's different badges and they put the badges in a bag, they shake the bag up, and then they stick the badge on the back of the van.
Honestly, looking at the pictures of the Voyager on the US website, it still has like leather seats or leatherette seats. I don't know what they're going at.
And it's only $3,000 less than the Pacifica. So how much less equipment can it have? If you look at the bumper,
it looks
the
like it has smaller
also different.
Wheels. Yeah.
It has like a different grill. What's going on?
There's no answer. I don't have a good answer for you. Other than I drove the not the Grand Caravan, the Pacifica, and that's all I got for you today.
I'll also tell you that the Voyager is only a single trim.
Yes, that's the same in Canada with the Grand Caravan.
So is this a leftover vehicle? Is this a classic situation? Is this like a previous generation Pacifica that's been relabeled?
But there are there has, as far as I can tell, there has only been one generation of the Pacifica minivan. It came out in 2017, and that's an important thing to discuss because a lot of what I'm experiencing now in the Pacifica is very similar to what I feel. I think it's the same van that came out back then. You know
Another important thing to discuss is if you're building a Voyager, there's no options.
Yeah.
You can get like a block heater, and that's pretty much it.
Why are you so invested in the Voyager in this conversation?
Because we're talking about how you're driving this Pacifica, which feels like a van that is kind of caught in time, a van that has not significantly been updated since it came out. Yeah. And Chrysler is also offering what appears to be a decontented version of that same van.
Like unrefreshed version of it. Yes. I think there was a refresh. You mentioned like a different grille and bumper design. Basically, I think they've kept the old one.
So what I'm positing is the Voyager actually time travel? Where it's taking you back to before the Pacifica existed?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
No more Voyager talk.
No more Voyager talk. It is worth pointing out that there are 3 trims of the Pacifica. I drove the mid-trim limited version with all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is something that was introduced a few years ago in the Pacifica.
It's pretty much every minivan out there. 50% of minivans now offer this feature.
No, only one I think doesn't, right? Oh, yeah.
No, it's 50%.
Talk to me.
The Honda Odyssey does not offer it, and the Kia does not offer it.
The Kia Carnival does offer all-wheel drive, just not in all trims.
Okay, so then just the one.
I think the hybrid version of the Carnival does not come with all-wheel drive.
Okay.
But again, I don't know if you want to consider the Voyager a separate minivan.
I don't even want to talk about the Voyager anymore.
It feels like the Voyager is just
clear.
the trim level of the Pacifica, right?
Wow. All right, if that's how you're going to position it. But I was told that we weren't talking about Voyager anymore or Grand Caravan. So let's get back to Pacifica.
How much would you spend for more drive wheels?
Like an additional set of axles? I would spend a lot of money. If I could get a 6-wheel drive minivan, I would own a 6-wheel drive minivan.
To go from front wheel drive to all wheel drive is like almost $3,000.
I would not spend any money on it, and I will tell you why later in the podcast.
Okay, fine. In addition to that, there's I think I got to double check my numbers.
Was yours all wheel drive?
Yes.
Okay.
And I honestly, the powertrain is my favorite thing about this minivan. Is that a weird thing to say?
The 3.6 liter Pentastar?
Yeah.
What do you like about it? It's a 280 horsepower?
287 horsepower.
Oh, wow. I've been served.
It is so solid, man. It sounds good. It has really good responsiveness, especially in the lower gears. It has a 9-speed automatic transmission, which is okay. There's nothing really problematic with, like, to me, the powertrain really worked out. And again, we've talked about my feelings on drive modes and stuff like that. This car has no drive modes. There's no way for you to care at all.
It's not even like a tow haul or anything like that?
I don't think so. Okay. Which it can tow. It can tow apparently 3,600 pounds.
All right.
Which sounds like a crazy idea, but you can do it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a big vehicle. I don't see why it's that crazy. Minivans tend to have decent brakes because they're 7 to 8 passengers, right?
Yeah.
And that's another 1,400 pounds of passenger that you... Like, that's a lot more than you would have in a sedan, and a lot more than you would have in a similarly sized 2-row like crossover. So it needs to have the brakes to be able to do that. And plus it has 160 cubic feet of interior volume for cargo.
Why are you stealing on you're stealing on my figures?
I'm legitimately pulling this out of the air. Is that how much it has?
How much?
160, 157 cubic feet?
Yeah, I think 100 for passenger space. I said
no, cargo space.
Cargo space. Cargo space is huge. Give me a minute.
It's got to be like 157 or something.
And nobody cares about liters, so I should probably not talk about liters, right?
No.
Cargo volume 144 total.
So that's a lot.
Yes.
You can put a lot of heavy stuff in there. So you get good brakes. And this all goes back to say that if you have good brakes and decent cooling, you can tow.
Yeah. I love
this is why people in Europe are towing 26-foot camping trailers with compact hatchbacks. You know?
I mean, yeah, my partner always points out, because she grew up in Ireland, and she's always pointing out, you don't need a truck to tow that tiny little thing.
But literally, Ireland is super small, right? So you're only in the car for 15 minutes.
That's not true at all. Oh my God. Everywhere you go, it takes forever. But the powertrain is one of my favorite things about this Pacifica. It sounds great. It responds really well. I know that sounds like something you don't need to care about when it comes to minivans, but trust me, when you've got a kid with his razor sharp aim that he could just backhand flip these boots at your face, you want to get going and avoid all of his throwing skills.
I thought you were going to say when you have a kid who's always setting you up races for pinks.
Yeah, that too. And he's always motioning to 18-wheelers to honk the horn, and I'm always I'm trying to get out of your way, man. And you don't really know what's going on, of course.
Remember that TV show Pinks?
Do I remember it?
Yeah.
Was it a Netflix show?
No. It was pre-Netflix. It was probably late 2000s when it started. And it was a show where they would arrange for street races that were ostensibly for the pink slip of the car.
Yeah.
And it was hosted by a gentleman, a bald gentleman. And I bring that up because I think it was something that he was it was a characteristic, a trademark of his style. And he would try to make things intense in ways that they weren't. Like the race was usually really low key, but he was always like, "Would you say you were outperformed?" Whenever someone would lose, and he was trying to make that a catchphrase. It was a weirdly intense show, and it ran for like, I don't know, a decade. I think the guy's still alive. I don't think he's doing Pinks anymore though. Maybe Pinks moved online. A lot of stuff like that happened.
I want to be clear. I made a mistake with the with the cargo room. I think there's actually more cargo room. That was the hybrid. So let me just get my specs here.
So the hybrid is a plug-in and has a battery pack that eats up.
Yeah, and it's front wheel drive only.
Okay. But that shouldn't have an impact on cargo.
It might. You never know with these things.
I think
I was talking about cargo room.
Yes.
140.
I was talking about Pinks.
Yeah, Pinks. So yeah, I do recall this show. I think it did not catch my attention mainly due to the forced nature of the forced drama of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't dig that. What was the name of that really weird obstacle course driving show for Netflix? It was so good.
I don't remember the name of the show, but I did enjoy it.
It was legit. It was so cool.
That was our friend whose name I also can't remember.
Andrew Comey Picard, no?
Andrew Comey Picard, yeah. Canadian rally driver, all around good guy, and fun driving instructor. He was the consultant on putting together that course. I like that show. There was another show that was where you were pursued. Do you remember that show?
No.
Manhunter,
Tracker.
The show you're talking about is.
Do we have a name? What they're called? Hyper or something? Was it called Hyperdrive?
Yeah, I think it was Hyperdrive, and they would have this crazy road course, or not a road course, like you said, obstacle course with jumps and like areas that were water, like flooded with water, and it was pretty intense.
And you'd have to drift into these like pylons a specific way.
There was a whole bunch of stuff. It was
so sick.
But the other show, and I can't remember what it was called, and I think he might have been involved with it too, or someone else I know was involved with it, where they had this, it was a simulated road space where they had warehouses and like dirt roads and paved roads, and you would have to get from like an entry point to an exit point, and there were these people who were pursuing you, usually in like Suburbans, and they would smash your car up. Because the whole point was you would get smashed until you could no longer continue.
Oh my God, that sounds like a great way to get neck injury.
It was really wild. And they had some cool drivers on the show. Some people I recognize from motorsports, some people I didn't. There's someone, a drifter that I follow now called Sonia Slides. That's her account online for her socials. And she came in like a 350Z and like was trying to escape people. So you had people who were like, some were rallies, some were drifters, some were just like street drivers who thought they could not have their car destroyed. It was an odd show. Michelle Rodriguez was on the show.
Okay.
I think she was one of the hosts. And she would
what was it called?
I don't know. Look up Michelle Rodriguez Pursuit Show. But it was like a much lower budget version of the other show where the stakes were so much higher because of the damage that your
car chase show is what Getaway Driver.
There you go. Getaway Driver. Anyway,
where did this come from?
It was it was a streaming show.
On what network?
Maybe it was just on the dark web.
I think it is.
Maybe I'm the only one who watched the show. So you're saying it has more cargo room than you thought.
140, yes.
That's actually less than you had told me.
Oh, yeah.
You said 147.
140. But one of the, why don't we just keep on talking about what I like about the minivan? The minivan in particular, I like the powertrain. I mentioned that already. I love how much space this thing has. The car I had in particular had stow and go seating for the front and rear rows.
You mean the second and third rows?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You can drive from the back.
You can drive
telescopic steering. Have you ever tried to drive standing up?
No, I don't think so.
I had one time I was replacing the seats of my truck and I had to move it.
You always have the most ridiculous stories. I can never tell if they're true or not.
As a young man, I did not think things through.
Yeah, clearly.
And it's really tough to operate a clutch while you're standing.
Oh, God.
It's really hard. So
what truck are we talking? Like a pickup?
An F-150. Yeah. I had a bench seat in it, and then I went to a scrapyard, and I got some bucket seats out of, I think, a Cougar, and put those in. And then I had a two-seater. And you know why I did that? so I could stop giving people rides because I was the only person
Yeah.
in the area I was living in college that had a vehicle, and people would be like, "Can I get a ride?" And then my friend Tony was always with me. And
In a
so if
bench
Tony and I
seat,
were in the
front
car,
bench seat?
yeah, if Tony and I were in the truck, no one could be in the truck with us because like we didn't have a seat. Sorry,
Yeah.
you can't get it. It was amazing.
And
I
love the idea that happened over a weekend. Like one weekend you're giving a ride to your buddy at the party. Next weekend, sorry guy, I don't have a
bro.
I don't know what chair where you think you're gonna sit in
Sorry,
my
bro.
car.
Seats are full. Find another way
I
home,
love
pizza
that.
boy.
Can you imagine your buddy being like that? No, we took the seat out.
Maybe buddy should buy another car. That's what I'm saying.
I want to know. I really hope when we get to the listener questions, would you remove a seat to get, or what? How would you react if your friend no longer had a seat, or who you thought was your friend no longer had a seat in your car?
There's still a seat. You're just not in it.
Anyway, stow and go seating, wicked. So much space, really easy to use. I love how generally it's actually really easy to use. My main issue actually is that the seat backs of the second row are a little high. Sorry, I bumped into everything I got here. The seat backs are a little high on the second row, and as a result, folding them down can sometimes interfere with the back of the front seats. There's a button that you can press on the like inner B pillar that will move the front seats up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the seats can fold in.
You know what's funny about that
you cannot use that button if the doors are closed, which I think was really funny.
You could have just designed a seat that fit better, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Did they design the seats first? Like, well, we can't do it. We don't have any do-overs here, so I'm sorry.
So there's this whole like mechanism that can very clear that like again has like logic to it, that it can only be used when the door is open, so you can't be moving people while they're in those seats or something like that. And can probably is like a point of failure, a future point of failure of some kind. In addition to that, my car also had optional storage buckets in all of the stow and go areas, which made the stow and go function completely useless when those buckets were in there, obviously.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that means that you can use the stow and go space as a cargo cubby if you didn't want to put your chair in it, which is kind of cool. It's nice that they have like branded and like space appropriate, accessories that can go in there. But it also means that it removes one of the spontaneous factor of the stow and go, which I really appreciate. To me, stow and go is about the ability to say, yeah, we got space for X, Y, and Z, either people or passengers or this guy or that guy or this thing or that thing. And
we all know that your lifestyle is such that you can never predict when there's going to be a party in your van.
I 100% agree with that. Well, I think as a when a family is involved, you can start the day off with all your seats being used. You can need the space in the middle of the day, and then you can need fewer seats. A child has been left behind somewhere, and you can need fewer seats. Or the other way around, you need to bring a kid from school to their
how do pets
family
fit into this? What if you need to put a pet in the basket?
Yeah, I guess that's something.
Stow and go basket. It's actually pet seating. You didn't even think of that.
I didn't, of course.
You just put a blanket in there, and it's totally cool.
I think that'd be kind of neat for sure. But again, then it removes the spontaneity of the thing, because otherwise, before the invention, I guess, of stow and go seats, you would just take out chairs and leave them wherever you got. But now you're going to take out buckets and put them somewhere inconvenient, like the back, like the trunk or something.
I remember I had friends growing up who had a van, and their parents had removed the center row. Yeah. And the kids would sit in the back and the parents would sit in the front, and they had this big open area between them.
A limo, basically.
I thought that was the coolest thing. And I had never considered that in my entire life. Like it was like a mind-blowing revelation that you could configure the interior like that.
It's super cool. And in addition to that, if it should encourage automakers to create a more comfortable third row seat, like a plushier and like spacious third row.
Do you not like the third row?
No, the third row, I'm going to be clear. All seats are pretty functional and comfortable in terms of space. in the Pacifica. My main issue is due to the stow and go nature of these. They're thinner, they're flimsier, they're kind of like they feel like they kind of like aren't special seats. And I only say that because somebody
But they are special. They stow and go.
Yeah, they stow and go. But if you've been in the second row of the Kia Carnival with those VIP lounge seats, which are super heavy and non-removable and ruin your cargo versatility, the trade-off is that those are like super comfortable second row seats.
So what do you want? Practicality or
Yeah, exactly. You have to decide whether you want, comfortable high-end seat or not that, right? And I don't think these are high-end seats. That's basically what I'm saying. Those are the positives of this minivan. I'm going to now, from here on out until I'm done talking about the Pacifica, almost purely negative factors or elements that I found with the car, okay? The interior design is super dated. There's nothing going on in the interior that is worth mentioning. The infotainment system is apparently 10 inches, does not act like a 10-inch screen, feels kind of cramped.
What does not act like a 10-inch screen mean?
It just doesn't.
It's a physical dimension.
The items on it are super cramped. Okay. There are tiny shortcut buttons in the top, status bar of the screen, infotainment screen, that you can use to change your heated seats or change your temperature. And right now we're going through winter, so heated seats are always on basically until they're too hot, and then you turn them off. I found out that when you are in the climate control screen, the shortcuts no longer work, even though they're there.
The shortcuts for stuff that's on the climate control screen?
Yeah. The shortcuts that are on the top status bar for your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and temperature.
Okay.
If you're on I know I think you're in a Stellantis car right now, Uconnect powered car. I want you to check that for me when you get it, because you have a much more modern one.
I'm going to forget everything about this podcast the minute I hit the record button to stop.
Okay. It handles totally fine. It's got kind of mushy brakes that, they get the job done. I didn't bump into anything or whatever, but you need to have longer. You need to use a little bit more force than you were expecting, and the adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and what's the other one? Blind spot monitoring all feel kind of like dated. The blind spot monitoring in particular is super sensitive and like freaks out while you're in the middle of like a turn. You know, when you're signaling to make like an advanced turn or whatever, and it starts beeping at you super hardcore, and I'm like, this is a problem that's been solved by other cars. Lane keeping barely works. I didn't like that very much at all. And then there was one more thing. They boasted that the new model has front parking sensors and a 360-degree camera. I don't know if that's just new to the Pacifica for a specific trim, the one that I was testing, or if it's just new for this year. But triggering the front parking sensors does not turn on the camera view. It just like beeps at you and you have no idea what you're...
These are two separate systems, though.
Yeah, but other cars do that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not the Stellantis way.
Yeah, so you have to go through this poor infotainment system, find the surround view camera button or the shortcut, and then it'll work. I mean, I just think that it's also weird. One more weird complaint from Sami. No automatic brake hold.
I don't ever use that feature.
I know you don't use that feature. I use that feature. I use it in town. It's cute. It works.
What do you do with it? What is it for?
It's for I have long stops at the red light, man.
What?
Yeah.
You take your foot off the brake?
Yeah. Automatic brake hold.
If I'm in a car, and the car is not moving, my foot is on the brake.
Nailed it.
100% of the time, regardless of what car I'm in. If I'm in a car and the car is not running, my foot is on the brake. It's just so ingrained in my body. It's like putting on a seatbelt to me. I put the seatbelt on, my foot goes on the brake, and that's what happens. So I just can't imagine like not doing that.
It's a new habit for me ever since I got my Outback, which has automatic engine start. And I found that the engine stop start will stay on, will disable the engine longer or more consistently when I have engine brake hold on. So I would always have that.
I love how you explain that like it's somehow logical and like I'm going to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. I would do that too. Not in a million years do I understand why you're doing this.
Okay, fine, whatever, man. Cut me some. You want to hear all my complaints? These are all of them. People want to hear.
You haven't said anything about the price. I thought that was going to come up as a complaint, but
yeah, I mean the Pacifica starts at around $44,000.
What currency is that?
That's US currency. And the one I tested will be closer to 55,000 with all of the equipment I had. In Canada, the car can get up to $80,000, which I think is a lot of money. And I
The
know
regular non-plug-in can get up to $80,000.
Oh yeah.
That's
100%.
insane.
It's absolutely insane. And the one I was driving was still $76,000 and had features left behind. And I think that's a lot of money, man. I just don't know how people can justify spending that much money on
what equipment are you getting at that price?
You get everything you think you need, okay? The only thing you don't have would be a rear seat infotainment system. That's what I didn't have. But I had the S appearance package, which makes everything kind of like blacked out trims and S badges everywhere. As I mentioned, there's heated seats in the front and rear second row seats. I've got ventilated seats in the front. I've got a heated steering wheel, 3-zone climate control, navigation,
and the all-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, all-wheel drive, wireless phone charger, wireless phone projection.
Is there any other van on the market in Canada that gets close to that price?
Yeah, in Canada, the Sienna gets close.
The Sienna has always been expensive.
Yeah, the Sienna's always been expensive. And it comes with standard hybrid at that price.
I love how they call it standard hybrid.
Sorry,
saying,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say standard.
No, but like I instead of saying it's your only choice.
Yeah, I think it's now only available as a hybrid, right?
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of that drivetrain. It's not That's great. Crazy. It's not bad. Yeah. It's just like I feel it's not nearly as smooth as any of the other vans that are.
It is super efficient though, and again, I should talk about the efficiency in this thing. It's rated in Canada for 12 liters per 100 kilometers, which is, I think, 28 probably. Let me double check. 25. No, 20. Sorry. 20. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
20 miles per gallon. And it did not reach 20. When I was driving it did not reach 20 miles per gallon.
It's also winter, and you have your heavy foot, and you have your auto stop thing that's probably... Probably like brake hold. It's probably on all the time. I don't
have auto stop on it.
You're probably driving with the brake hold on, and that's why it's using so much gas.
It also had rear second row window shades, which are appreciated. That's one, and a massive panoramic sunroof. So a couple of small things that I think are pretty nice. But
I feel like second row sunshades and a panoramic sunroof send a mixed message. Like that pairing.
Yeah, of course. They're all. Yeah, I agree. It is funny to think about it that way. But I will say that the car feels really dated for that price. It makes it really difficult for me to recommend. But as far as I understand, it's a very shallow pool of options, right? What are you going to get that has this much space and these features?
I'll tell you what you're going to get
at a better price.
I'll tell you what you're going to get at a better price. And that's the Honda Odyssey, which is what I drove last week, which is also a minivan. Which is in its most expensive trim, like $15,000 less than the van you drove.
In Canada or the US?
In Canada. The most you can pay for a Black Edition Odyssey, which is the top of the line, is $64,700.
No way.
There are no options.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like
that's everything.
The one I drove is one step down, although the features are the same. It just doesn't have the Black Edition like styling stuff, which you don't need. And when I say Black Edition, the van they show on their website is red. We've talked about this.
That's the one I drove. Yeah. I drove that Black Sami Edition, Black Edition.
So I'm not going to go super hardcore into this because we talked about this van back in April. But I had not driven an Odyssey in a long time. I drove a Touring, which starts at $62,900. In the United States, a Touring is our Touring is actually their Elite, which is confusing, which is their top trim. It starts at $51,000. That is not an insignificant amount of money, but it's nowhere near the Pacifica talk that we've been having.
Yeah, and my Pacifica is $6,000 more, at least $6,000 more.
You said it was close to 80
in Canada.
Yeah, and in the US, how much was it?
I'm looking at it. I'm building it now in the US, and I'm looking at a 50. I got to add all these features that my car had.
Okay, let's start with a question that you asked me at the earlier part of the podcast, where how much would I spend to add all-wheel drive to the van? Because that is a difference between the vehicle you drove and the vehicle I drove. You cannot get all-wheel drive with the Odyssey. It's never been available, even though it's based on the same platform as the Pilot. They just never ported it over. And I'm going to tell you that during the week that I had this vehicle, I was hit by not one, but 2 blizzards that just completely covered my area with snow. The plows did not do a very good job of dealing with it. And it was extremely cold. So all of those things together, and not once during the entire time I drove the van did I feel I needed all-wheel drive. Not once did I get stuck. Not once was the vehicle ever in a dangerous situation because it was front-wheel drive only. It was on a good set of winter tires, and I had no issues. I was super impressed by how well the vehicle drove in the snow.
That's good to hear.
It really made me reconsider. Like, I believe the Sienna is the other all-wheel drive one we were talking about.
And the Carnival too.
Okay, it kind of feels like a gimmick.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like something that they've thrown at vans because SUVs have this feature, and maybe we can get some people, pry them away from the SUV side of the showroom and get them into a minivan if we tell them it has all-wheel drive. A huge triumph of marketing that I don't think we need. I mean, all-wheel drive vans have been around for a super long time, since at least the 80s, but I don't think it's necessary. The second thing I want to talk about with this van.
I take it back. There is no Kia Carnival with all-wheel drive.
Okay, wow. So just muddied those waters. What didn't I say there was only one van that had it?
Yeah,
you were like,
right.
No.
I thought there was another one.
Okay.
I thought that was coming. I thought that was added.
Maybe I'm the one who said there was 50%. It doesn't matter. Let's just agree to be friends.
That's so weird. I can't believe I got that so poorly.
In any case, the other thing that I really liked about, speaking of driving, I put a lot of miles on this van. I did some trips to Montreal and back. I did some trips out into the country, even further into the country, I guess you could say. And the thing that impressed me the most about the Odyssey is it's a large vehicle that does not drive like a large vehicle. It drives pretty much like a big sedan instead of an SUV. And I think part of that is, even though it has, I mean, it doesn't have a super tall greenhouse, but more importantly, the ride height is very normal. Like, it's a car-like ride height. So you don't have crazy amounts of ground clearance, which really helps the suspension in dealing with something that's essentially has the aerodynamics of a brick and is just a battleship out there. It was very pleasant to drive. I didn't want to give it back at the end of a week. And when was the last time I said that about any vehicle, let alone a minivan?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't have any specs up about this vehicle. I'm assuming I know it's a 3.5 liter V6. It's the same thing as the Pilot, and that's like 280 horsepower, I think. It has a 9-speed automatic transmission, if I'm not mistaken. Although maybe that's not true. I'm going to double check that now. But the only real complaint I had about the drivetrain, sorry, it's a 10-speed automatic transmission. It does have that 3, and I verified that my horsepower numbers and displacement were right. The one issue I had while driving it was when I would climb a hill, and not even like a difficult hill, like just any kind of slope at maybe part throttle, it would downshift noticeably.
Yeah.
And I would feel it through the pedal in a way that no other vehicle I've driven recently has done. And it was the only real flaw I found in the transmission, because other times when I'm just driving it normally, the kickdown feels normal. It feels smooth. It was just this one situation that I kept noticing over and over. Did you also have that issue?
I remember it saying that it felt like kind of like a CVT, and that it could rev up the engine under like any kind of stress, right?
Yeah, it was a little strange. But the power is good. The handling is good, as I mentioned. Like, it drives much smaller than it is. Mm-hmm. The interior, tons of room. It doesn't have stone go, but there's a big cavity in the back of the van where the cargo area is. And if you have all 3 rows up, it's like essentially, I'm assuming, the same as what you had in the Pacifica, where it's like a trunk, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And then when you fold the seats down, they fold into that trunk, and that gives you a flat load floor until you get to the second row. The second row doesn't fold into the floor. They fold flat, but Honda has this thing, I think it's called a magic seat. I think they're reusing that terminology that we used to have in the Fit. Yeah. So yeah, it's called magic slide. And what it is you have a bench seat in the middle, but it's not really a bench. It's 2 captain's chairs with like an insert in the middle. The insert can be removed if you want it gone completely. It can be used as a seat, or it can be used as a console. But if you take that insert out, you can slide the 2 seats beside each other. So like, you could move the outboard seat into the middle, and that makes it easier to get into the back of the vehicle.
Love that.
It also puts your child directly in your line of sight. if you wanted to put them in the middle of the vehicle. And it does so without forcing them to sit in a middle seat, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's still the same bucket.
Well, apparently, statistically, the more to the middle of the vehicle a child is seated, the safer they are.
Yeah, anyone is seated. The middle seat of the rear middle seat is the safest seat in any vehicle, for sure.
Least comfortable, but most it's safest.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's least comfortable too because you're never there alone. you never choose that seat like on your own. It's always forced upon you because you have people on either side. The seat can also be removed using the same kind of slide feature. They're not what I would call light seats, but they do fold down into a compact enough thing where you can wrangle them out. I was impressed. It's a way to make the van configurable that's a little bit different than the competition, but it's not gimmicky. I could see a lot of people just taking that center seat out and never using it because most people, I think 8 passengers, 7 passenger seating with that back bench is enough. But you can be an 8 passenger without having to. There are some companies that make you order like a bench in the middle or captain's chairs, and this is kind of both. Okay,
great.
And again, the rear room in the third row, I liked it. It was good. It was fine. No problems. The interior felt reasonably modern. Issues with the vehicle?
I like that though. Like to me, I like the cabin of the Odyssey because it reminds me of the other Honda vehicles that they like. It's not that far off from like the Pilot or the Ridgeline or something like that. And I think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like it maybe it feels actually like the last generation Pilot, and it should be updated to the new one. But
there was nothing about it when I was in it where I was like, this feels dated. Like I didn't have that same vibe that you had from the Pacifica. So I think that's a point in its favor.
Okay.
The issues that I had with the vehicle, there's two. One is kind of a broader umbrella issue. The specific one was the wheel design on the vehicle. I believe it's 19-inch wheels. They were slotted to the point where they gathered snow inside of them. And at the rear of the vehicle, there was so much snow that it was shaking above 50 miles per hour. I had to stop on the side of the road and use a snow brush and like individually clean out the spokes in order to get rid of that. That's annoying. Please do something about that. There are conservatively millions of vehicles that don't have that issue. So, but that's, it's a very specific complaint to when you're dealing with deep snow like I was because of the blizzards. The more pressing problem I had with the Odyssey is the safety equipment, the adaptive safety equipment, the advanced driver's aids are really not up to snuff. The first issue...
That's interesting because I was saying something similar in the Pacifica.
So the lane departure system, unlike other vehicles, the Odyssey only makes a half-hearted attempt to keep you in the lane if you stray over the lines. And if you read the manual, it says it will apply like mild torque to the steering wheel. And that's fine in like, let's say 30% of situations where maybe you're drifting at kind of a low speed, you're near the edge, and then it'll just tap the wheel and you'll kind of move back towards the center of the lane. But in 70% of the time, it's just going to go right over that line. Like on curvy roads, it does nothing. On the highway, it often also does nothing. It'll beep at you and warn you, and then you're on your own, brother. Like It's like, good luck. In my opinion, don't have that system. Have a warning or have a correction, but don't have a half system that kind of corrects you while it's also warning you.
It gives up.
Yeah, it totally gives up. I was never comfortable understanding the parameters of when it was going to work and when it wasn't. And like, you can't have inconsistent enforcement of a parameter in a safety system because eventually people will not trust it. So I ended up just not trusting it, not using it. The warning too, sometimes when you're going like 75 miles an hour and you get to that curve in the road, it's like super brief and you're on your own. And that's not great.
Beep up.
Yeah. Yeah. The other issue was the adaptive cruise. I'm looking at my notes here because I had some problems with the adaptive cruise as well, where I was getting early alarms. Like I was on a divided highway. I was in the passing lane of a 2-lane road, 4 lanes, I guess. And I got a false brake alarm from the adaptive cruise out of nowhere. And I was nowhere near traffic ahead of me. It told me like, emergency brake. And I was only going like 45 miles per hour. And that's scary. Like every time that happens, when I get those kinds of alarms in a vehicle, it makes me think I've missed something, that I haven't seen something.
Yeah.
And then I panic and think, what haven't I seen? And I look around and get my situational awareness up, when in reality, I haven't missed anything. And I'm just being teased by a system that does not work properly. So that was a little bit frustrating.
I wonder why both of our cars just didn't. Maybe it's the weather, but I don't know.
I thought it was the weather, but like this happened regardless of whether there was snow on the road or not. Another problem, kind of wrapping up the issues I had that were safety related, the headlights were not great on the vehicle.
Interesting.
Where I drive, it's very dark and there's lots of wildlife. So headlights are something I think about more and more. The Odyssey, the headlights were, I would guess, average at best, but I was on a night where there was a lot of snow and consequently a lot of slush on the road. They got covered very quickly and it dimmed them fast. And that dramatically reduced the amount of drive ahead space that I had, where I felt like I wasn't overdriving my headlights. So I had to slow down until I could pull over and do something about that. And I remember I pulled over to this gas station, and I'm looking for some type of like, squeegee just to wash them off. And there's no squeegee. And I go inside and there's someone behind the counter. And I'm like, hey, I can't find a squeegee. And she's like, no.
That's it? Like, that was the answer?
Yeah. And I'm like, so there's no squeegee? And she's like, no. And I'm like, what happened to it? And she's like, I guess it got stolen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this doesn't help me at all. And I had to drive another 20 minutes to the next gas station in my rural area and clean things up.
Brutal.
But overall, I really like this van.
I agree with you. Of the two, unless the Stone Go thing is a must-have for you, and or all-wheel drive are must-haves for you, I think the Pacifica is overshadowed by the Odyssey.
That being said, I do like the Pacifica plug-in a lot, which is a vehicle we talked about last in 2021. I think, no, it couldn't have been that long ago.
What makes you love the Pacifica Hybrid so much?
Because when I drove it, I used it to move out here. And I think
you've just got great vibes.
No, I think 30% of my driving was done on the battery. And that's over like a 260 kilometers, so like 170 mile round trip.
That's huge. Okay.
And usually for a plug-in, it's not that great, right? It's like you get that initial burst, and then the car is not so good at doing the things that hybrids normally do, which is, switching over to electric power, coasting, and all that stuff. You're lugging around the battery, and because the weight of the battery is such that it actually reduces your fuel economy when the battery is empty, it balances out a lot of what the hybrid system can do. It reduces the efficiency, and you end up in a situation where plug-in hybrids are really great if you are within a window where you will be using that battery for most of your driving. So with this vehicle, I think it's 60 kilometers is something like that's the max for the PHEV version of the Pacifica. So out of 260 kilometers, that's like just over a quarter would in theory be covered on a round trip or something like that. Maybe I'm getting the numbers wrong. Anyway, that was enough. I boosted that to 30%, and I ended up getting something crazy like 40 miles per gallon or 35 miles per gallon with a fully loaded van full of junk that I was moving to my house out in the country, like very heavy.
Yeah, okay.
I was
super
impressed.
Your justification is I get it. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So that's all I have to say about that. Sami, there's a story that you wanted me to tell.
Yeah, why? What brought that up again?
Because I got a Facebook memory the other day that showed an event that I attended 13 years ago for Jaguar.
Oh, right.
And I was like, hey, this thing happened to me at this event. And you're like, what? I've never heard you talk about this thing. And you were like, you have to talk about that on the podcast. So do you want me to talk about it?
Please do.
So 13 years ago, I believe it was the launch of the all-wheel drive Jaguar XF, which I think was a big deal for Jaguar. I'm not sure if they'd had an all-wheel drive vehicle in the past. Anyway, it was done at this place called Mechagliss, which is it's a track facility that's north of Montreal, but they do a lot of off-road tracks. Like they have off-road driving, but they also have rally road style driving. And in the winter, the snows, they let the track snow up, and then they use it for winter, drift schools and survival and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we go there with Jaguar, and I'm with a friend of mine who I'll call Paul, and that's not his name. And he's my driving partner for the day. And we're doing a whole bunch of, they have different setups, like different parts of the track are for different things. And then they had one course that was a little bit higher speed and twisty and turny. And I was riding along with Paul, but normally I'm riding in the front seat. And in this case, there was like an instructor, I guess, or someone from Jaguar who wanted to ride along with us. And I get in the back seat. And these were prototype cars. These were new XFs that they weren't on the road yet. So not everything in a prototype car works. Sometimes it's like this, you'll notice the plastics are sharp and they'll cut your hands if you're not careful. It's just stuff that's not ready for prime time, but they drive. That's the whole idea, is to give you an impression of what they'll be like on the road. Mm-hmm. I get in this back seat and there's like no seatbelts. Or there's seatbelts, but they don't come out. Like I'm trying to pull the seatbelt out and it's like stuck in the thing on both sides. And I say this to the Jaguar guy and he's like, yeah, he's like, these are prototypes. We don't have functional safety equipment in the back of the car. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I said to my friend, that's okay. I trust you, Paul. Like I remember saying that like out loud as we enter onto this racetrack in the snow. They're both belted in. So we're driving and we get like one lap in, and then I guess Paul starts to feel confident. And we start with this downhill section and he's just hammering it. And he's from Florida and they don't have snow in Florida, right? He's originally, well, he lives in Florida now. I think he's originally from Michigan, but he'd been in Florida a long time. We're on this downhill with like a right-hand corner and we get to the end of the hill and he's turning the wheel and nothing's happening because he's going very much too fast for the front wheels to do anything at this point. And I'm like, oh snap, we're not going to make this corner. We leave the road, go up this snowbank and drive over a tree. There were all these like little pine trees that were like planted around. This pine tree is maybe like 3 or 4 feet tall. Yeah. We drive right over it. It's under the car.
It's a twig.
It's not a twig. It's a tree to the point where it tore the cooling system out of the vehicle. Whoa. So keep in mind, while all of this is happening, I am bouncing around a rear bench seat with like no seatbelt on.
No helmet?
No. Are you kidding? They let me in without a seatbelt. Do you think they had helmets? So I get out of the car. Turns out I'm okay. And my driver is like really worried. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry for all this that happened. I'm like, don't worry about it. I seem to be fine. Everything's okay. We get back into they have to tow the vehicle out. It's done for the day. They only had 3 prototypes available. And that was one of them just finished. Like, and we were like the first day of a full week event. So I felt bad about that. Although I wasn't driving.
No.
Like an hour goes by. We're sitting in like the little cocoa hot chocolate hut thing that they have set up to keep us warm. And my buddy's like, man, he's like, I think I really hurt my neck. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like, Jaguar didn't, like, they asked me if I was okay and I didn't want to rock the boat. And he was belted. He's like, but man, my neck is like really sore now.
and what did you say?
I said, I'm like, I mean, that sucks. I hope you're okay. But like, it was just funny that of all the people in that vehicle, he was the one who got injured. And I'm the one who like was the human pinball, you know, and I was totally fine. Anyway, that's the story that I wanted to tell me. So
I love it. Perfect.
Good times 13 years ago.
I don't know about good times, but survived times.
Survived. Yeah.
Yes. It's like one of those things you hear, you know, we managed okay. I'm like, but did we? And could it have gone totally awful if one thing went wrong?
What's so strange is like earlier we were talking about how the first thing I do when I get in a car is put in a seatbelt and then I touch the brake. And I'm trying to think if there's been any other time where I have been in a car in 2 decades where I haven't had a seatbelt on. And I think this is the only time. And how does that make any sense? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, you were, I mean, when we go on these events, you know, you're so like, everything is thought for you that you let it go, right?
No,
like,
no, I don't know. This is like, there's no excuse. I don't know what was going on. Super weird.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode. I really encourage our listeners to head on over to our website, unnamedautomotivepodcast.com, and you can get in touch with us there through a contact form. Just fill it out, and it lands in our inbox. Additionally, you can email us the old-fashioned way. It's benjamin@benjaminhunting.com. I think that's the ideal way to get in touch with us, both of those ways.
Kind of the only way, I think.
Yeah, but
I'm off the social media for a while. I'm not going to be on Instagram for the rest of December. So I know some people reach out and talk to me there, and I've enjoyed our chats very much, but I'm just not going to be using the app for the next 30 days or so. So I won't be available there. If you do want to reach out, just either of the two methods that Sami mentioned.
Or you can reach out to me. I'm still on Instagram at least.
Yeah, I didn't want to volunteer you though. I mean, that's
at Sami_ha, like you're laughing.
That's your choice. Sami, what are you going to be talking about next week?
I've got a Hyundai Tucson hybrid.
I'm going to be talking about the Jeep Wagoneer S, which is, I think, technically the first full EV from Jeep that has made it to North America.
Yeah, there you go.
So many qualifiers there.
Yeah, great. I can't wait to talk about that because I have, just like the other Stellantis EV here in North America, the Daytona? What's it called?
Daytona.
The Challenger Charger Daytona.
I think that's been canceled.
I have not seen the Wagoneer and I haven't seen the Daytona. Like outside of a dealership.
I do see the Daytona, but like I've seen maybe 3 or 4.
I've only seen them in the dealership.
Wow. And I know you go up there and you press your face against the glass and you're like, Mr. Hadjasad, you have to go home. Or you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
What a great episode. I can't wait to talk to you next week about these cars.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.